Okay, so welcome back to the second video of special senses on the eye. In this video, we're going to talk about layers of the retina. And if you remember from the previous video, we said the retina functions in absorption of light rays. When light rays have been focused by the lens, they'll go and hit the retina and then to absorb those light rays and then help them in help in the process of transduction, converting those light rays into action potentials. So there are five basic cells that are going to find in the retina. Being those five cells are photoreceptors, which are the cones and the rods. You have the horizontal cells. You have the amacrine cells. You also have the ganglionic cells. So these cells actually arrange the cells together with their processes, the axons and dendrites, as well as the synaptic contacts, are arranged in alternating layers. And you're going to find cell bodies in the inner nuclear layer. You're also going to find the cell bodies of these neurons in the outer nuclear layer. You're also going to find them in the ganglion cell layer. While there are processes, which are the axons as well as the synaptic contacts, you're going to find them in the inner plexiform layer as well as the outer plexiform layer. So let's see the layers that are present in the retina. The first layer we're going to talk about is the pigmented epithelium, or the pigment epithelium. This is the outermost layer. It's adjacent to the choroid. So next to the choroid, let us put it next to the choroid. It has a pigment present called melanin. Now this type of melanin is known as faucin. That's the name of the pigment that I want to find here. It has got this layer has got several functions. The first one being the epithelial cells that are present in here. They get to store vitamin A in the form of retinol. So first one, storage of vitamin A in form of retinol. Then two, they remove debris. Remove debris from the cones and rods. So if this cells, the photoreceptor that you are seeing here, starts wearing out, these will phagocytize those debris, the worn out parts of these photoreceptors. They'll phagocytize them and remove them. So that's the function that they have as well. Then the third one being prevention of reflection, shining back of light, reflection of light rays from the retina. So they get to absorb light rays, function in absorption of light rays as well as preventing the light rays from reflecting back from the retina. After the second layer, after the first layer known as the pigment epithelium, the second layer we're going to talk about is the layer of cones and rods. Layer of cones and rods. This layer is in between the pigment epithelium and the external limiting membrane. External limiting membrane. So this is our layer of cones here. It's in between the outermost layer, which is the pigment epithelium and the external limiting membrane, and it has cones and rods. Then the third layer is the external limiting membrane itself. This one is actually the chief supporting element of the retina. It is made up of molar fibers. It's made up of molar fibers. It's the chief supporting element of the retina. Then the fourth layer is this part here, which is the outer nuclear layer. The outer nuclear layer is just made up of, sorry, not this part here, but this one here. This part here is the outer nuclear layer. It is made up of cell bodies of cones and rods just beneath the external limiting membrane. So you have the pigment epithelium, the first layer, second layer, this one here, layers of the layer of cones and rods, which consists of cones and rods. Then you have the third here, which is this part here is our third. This layer has got, you can only see that there are only just cell bodies here that are present. So there are cell bodies of cones and rods that are present in the outer nuclear layer. Then the fifth layer from the fourth here, which is our our outer nuclear layer, is our outer plexiform layer. Plexiform layer, which is this part here. This is our outer plexiform layer. This is made up of axons, I would say processes of cones and rods. The synaptic terminals as well, they are present here. You can see there the synaptic terminals. So just say synaptic terminals of cones and rods. Then processes of bipolar cells. You can see these dendrites of bipolar cells there. Then you have processes of horizontal cells. You can see the horizontal cells here. You can see the processes entering the outer plexiform layer. So in other words, we are saying this outer plexiform layer has got synaptic terminals, or has got the synapses of between the cones and the bipolar cells, and also the horizontal cells. Then the sixth layer, which is here, this is our sixth layer, is the inner nuclear layer. The inner nuclear layer is this part here. It has cell bodies of bipolar cells, plus their living processes. You can see processes of these bipolar cells leaving these leaving this. You can see this process leaving this layer, going into another layer that we're going to talk about there. Then you can also see in the same inner nuclear layer, you can also see cell bodies of horizontal cells. Horizontal cells here. These are bipolar cells. So you can see cell body of horizontal cell. In this inner nuclear layer, you also find cell body of amacrine cells. You can see the amacrine cells. This one and this one. This one is an amacrine cell. So that's our sixth layer, the inner nuclear layer, made up of cell body as well as axons leaving the layer, cell body of horizontal cell body of bipolar, and cell body of amacrine cell there. The fifth layer, I said, is the outer plexiform layer, that is made up of synapses between the bipolar cells and the photoreceptors, as well as processes of the horizontal cells are going to be present in there. Then our seventh layer is the inner plexiform. inner plexiform layer, which is here. This is our inner plexiform layer, which is here. So to create space, I'll remove that. But that's not what we're talking about. This inner plexiform layer, which is here. This one is made up of synapses between the bipolar cells. These ones in blue are the bipolar cells. This, except this one here, which is the horizontal bipolar. The synapses here, you can see the synapse between the bipolar cells and these cells here, the ganglionic cells. Ganglionic cells. That's why in the inner plexiform layer you'll find synapses of the bipolar cells and the ganglionic cells, as well as processes of amacrine cells. You can see the processes here of the amacrine cells synapsing here on the ganglionic cells as well. Even here, processes of the amacrine cells synapsing on the ganglionic cells there. That's what we're going to find in the inner plexiform layer. Then the 8th layer is this layer here, the ganglion layer, ganglion cell layer, which is our 8th, the ganglion cell layer, or layer of ganglionic cells. In this one, you'll find cell bodies of the ganglionic cells. You can see cell bodies of the ganglionic cells present in here. Even these two also ganglionic cells. Even those two are also ganglionic cells. So those are the layers that we're going to find in here. Then the 9th layer is the layer of axon fibers. In this layer, you're going to find non-myelinated, non-myelinated axons of ganglionic cells. So you can see here in this layer, which is the one we're talking about. You can just see these axons of ganglionic cells that are moving in here in this layer. That's our 9th layer. So these axons, are non-myelinated. They are not myelinated. So we are saying the 9th layer here is a layer of axon or nerve fibers. So these nerve fibers or axons here, which are non-myelinated, they are from the ganglionic cells, and they will travel a distance until they reach the optic disc, where they are going to converge and form the optic nerve. Then the 10th one, though not that visible, but we can try and make it visible, is this bluish part here, just beneath this bluish layer here. Just this bluish layer here. I hope it's visible. This bluish layer that you are seeing at the bottom is the internal limiting membrane. So it also has got molar fibers, just the external one. This one separates the retina from okay, let's write it on top there. The internal limiting membrane. This separates the retina from vitreous humor. Remember, there's vitreous humor just after the retina there, in the just behind the lens. There's a vitreous humor. So this internal limiting membrane is separating the vitreous humor from the retina, or the retina from the vitreous humor. So let's just go back a bit and say what we have talked about here, and summarize what we have talked about here. So we are saying the retina is made up of 5 basic cells. So the photoreceptors, which are the cones and the rods, photoreceptors in here, these are the photoreceptors, cones and the rods. Then the horizontal cells, bipolar cells, amacrine cells, as well as amacrine cells. The amacrine cells and the ganglionic cells. Then we said these cells have got their cell bodies in the outer nuclear layer, the inner nuclear layer, as well as the ganglionic cell layer. While the cell processes, the synaptic terminals or the synapses are found in the inner and outer plexiform layer. So the layers that we talked about are: one, the pigment layer, or the pigment epithelium there, and we said the melanin or fusin. Fusin is what is the pigment present there. Then we talked about the second layer here, the layer of cones and rods. Then we talked about the third layer here, the external limiting membrane. Then we talked about the fourth layer here, the outer nuclear layer. Then we talked about the fifth here, the outer plexiform layer. Then we talked about the sixth here, outer plexiform layer here. We talked about the sixth here, the inner nuclear layer. Then we talked about the seventh here, the outer plexiform layer. The eighth one here, the ganglionic cell layer. Then the ninth one here, we said it's the layer of nerve fibers of axons, which are non-myelinated axons of the ganglionic cells. When they travel a distance up to the optic disc, they get to converge and form the optic nerve. Then the 10th layer here, which I've said, is the internal limiting membrane, which separates the retina from the vitreous humor present in the eyeball. So this is how the layers of the retina are arranged. So we are done with this video. Make sure to subscribe, share, like, and comment, as well as suggest the topics. Thank you.